The ballroom shimmered with anticipation, every surface reflecting the golden glow of a night that promised to change destinies. The air was thick with excitement, but beneath it all, a subtle tension pulsed, an unspoken understanding that tonight, everything could shift in an instant. Crystal chandeliers cast their golden light over a sea of elegant guests, each one cloaked in designer fabrics and carefully curated smiles. The room was a living tableau of wealth and ambition, where every glance and gesture carried meaning. Tonight, Ethan Kross, billionaire founder of Kross Industries, would choose the new face of his global brand, a decision that would ripple through the worlds of fashion, business, and media alike. His reputation for unpredictability only heightened the stakes. The media buzzed, cameras flashed, and reporters whispered predictions, their pens poised to capture every detail. Headlines were already being written in their minds, ready to immortalize the night's outcome. On stage, a lineup of models stood poised in dazzling gowns, their smiles flawless, their poise unbreakable. Each woman had spent months preparing for this moment, perfecting every step, every gesture, every word. Ethan watched from the sidelines, detached, the king in his court, holding the power to change a life with a word. His gaze was unreadable, his thoughts a mystery even to those closest to him. The pressure was palpable, a heavy blanket of expectation woven from fame, fortune, and the pursuit of perfection. Every guest felt it, from the hopeful contestants to the seasoned socialites who had seen countless dreams made and broken in rooms just like this. The host began, speaking of legacy and opportunity, building tension until the room held its breath. His words painted a picture of possibility, of doors opening to a world few could ever imagine. The models listened, ready for their moment, rehearsed and radiant. Each one silently recited her lines, steadied her nerves, and reminded herself why she had come this far. They were prepared to step into the gilded cage of fame and fortune, knowing that the spotlight could be both a blessing and a burden. For some, it was the culmination of a lifelong dream. For others, a test of how much they were willing to sacrifice. But beneath the glamour, a sense of hollowness lingered, waiting to be revealed. In the midst of celebration, a quiet question echoed: was the price of perfection worth the cost of freedom? The final interviews began, and a hush swept over the auditorium. The anticipation was palpable, as if everyone present sensed that something different was about to unfold. The usual excitement of the fashion show was replaced by a quiet tension, the kind that comes before a storm of truth. All eyes turned to Ethan as he stepped forward, the spotlight catching the determination in his gaze. He took the microphone with a calm confidence, and the room fell silent, waiting for his first words. But instead of the expected questions about dreams or ambitions, Ethan surprised everyone. He looked at Annalise, the first model, and asked, "Tell me about a time you felt truly helpless." The question hung in the air, heavier than any before. The audience exchanged glances, whispering in surprise. Annalise hesitated, her composure faltering for a moment. She quickly recovered, offering a polished story about a cancelled flight, her voice steady, but her eyes betraying uncertainty. Ethan listened intently, his expression unreadable. He nodded politely, but it was clear he was searching for something deeper, something raw and unfiltered. Finding none, he moved on. To Clara he posed a new challenge. "What's the kindest thing you've done when no one was watching?" The question was simple, yet it demanded honesty. Clara smiled, her answer smooth and practiced, as if she'd rehearsed it 100 times. She spoke of charity and good deeds, but her words lacked the vulnerability Ethan sought. Each model faced questions that peeled away the layers of glamour and poise, questions meant to reveal the person beneath the surface. Ethan's intent was clear, he wanted to see their true selves, not just the image they projected. Yet time and again, their answers were careful, polished, and safe. They spoke of challenges as stepping stones, of kindness as a brand, never letting their guard down, never exposing their true fears or hopes. Ethan scanned the faces before him, searching for a flicker of honesty, a moment of real emotion. But all he found was practiced perfection, a wall of rehearsed responses. The room filled with beautiful faces felt strangely empty. It was as if the models were wearing invisible masks, hiding their true selves behind flawless exteriors. Ethan's hope for a genuine connection faded with each answer. He longed for a glimpse of something real, a story, a confession, a moment of vulnerability, but it never came. As the interviews ended, Ethan realized the search for authenticity was far from over. In a world obsessed with perfection, finding something real would be his greatest challenge yet. When the last answer faded into the hush of the auditorium, A sense of anticipation hung in the air, thick and electric. The echoes of applause still lingered, but now, a different kind of silence settled, one filled with expectation and nerves. The host, clutching the envelope that held the evening's verdict, took a steadying breath and prepared for the grand announcement. The moment everyone had been waiting for was finally here, and the weight of it was almost tangible. All eyes turned to Ethan, the man of the hour. The models stood in a line, their faces a mix of hope and anxiety, while the cameras flashed relentlessly, capturing every flicker of emotion. The audience leaned forward, barely daring to breathe. Ethan stepped forward and took the microphone, but instead of turning to the models, he faced the audience directly. His expression was thoughtful, almost solemn, as if he carried a secret he was about to share. A brand is a story, a reflection of values, integrity, resilience, kindness, authenticity. It's more than a logo or a face, it's the sum of what we believe in and how we treat each other, he began, his voice steady and sincere. He paused, letting his words settle over the crowd. Then, with gentle conviction, he said, "Tonight, I have decided not to choose a representative from this group." The words seemed to hang in the air, almost unreal. Shock rippled through the room, the models' practiced smiles faltered, the host was left speechless, and a collective gasp swept through the audience. No one had expected this turn of events. Reporters scrambled to capture the stunning twist, their pens flying across notepads and cameras clicking in a frenzy. The story of the night had changed in an instant, and everyone wanted to know why. Yet, through the commotion, Ethan remained calm. He turned to the contestants, his voice warm and respectful, acknowledging their efforts and dreams. He thanked them for their courage and grace, making sure each felt seen and valued. "This isn't about your beauty or talent, it's a change in direction for my company, and for me," he explained, his words carrying a sense of both finality and hope. "Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is choose a new path, even when it's unexpected. The face of our story must embody a different kind of beauty, one that's found in everyday life, in the laughter of strangers, the kindness of friends, the resilience of ordinary people. That's the story I want to tell now." With that, he handed the microphone back to the stunned host and walked off stage, leaving behind a room buzzing with questions, whispers, and a sense that something important had just shifted. The search for something real, something deeper, had just begun, and everyone present knew they had witnessed the start of a new chapter. The memory guiding Ethan's decision wasn't glamorous, it was a rainy Tuesday night. Stranded outside his office, he watched as Maya, a soaked delivery driver, struggled with her broken scooter. Most people ignored her, but Ethan saw her determination and quiet struggle. He approached, offering help despite the downpour. Maya, surprised but grateful, explained her situation with quiet dignity. She refused pity, focused on her late delivery and her son waiting at home. Ethan helped her move the scooter to shelter, learning her name and a bit of her story. There was no glamour, just resilience and honesty. The brief encounter stayed with him long after the rain stopped. It was the first glimpse of the authenticity he craved. That rainy night wasn't the end. Ethan, curious, ordered from Maya's restaurant, hoping to see her again. When she arrived, she recognized him, and he invited her for coffee in the lobby. They talked about her son, her dreams, her fears. Maya's love for her child was genuine, her dreams simple: a garden, time to read, peace of mind. She spoke honestly about her struggles, never asking for pity. Their conversations were brief but real, a stark contrast to Ethan's polished world. Her sincerity was refreshing, her strength quietly beautiful. These moments became the anchor of Ethan's days. In Maya, he found the authenticity missing from his life. As weeks passed, Ethan's admiration for Maya grew. Her strength was real. Calloused hands, a warm smile, honest eyes. His own world felt emptier by comparison. Meetings, deals, calculated kindness. Maya wanted nothing from him, treating him as just Ethan, not the billionaire. Her honesty was a rare gift, more valuable than any business victory. The models represented perfection, but it felt sterile. Maya was imperfect, real and resilient, a quiet warrior. Ethan realized he wanted his brand to reflect authenticity, not fantasy. The true face of his company was someone like Maya. The decision was clear. Real beauty was found in sincerity and strength. After leaving the ballroom, Ethan went to Maya's neighborhood, waiting as her shift ended. Rain fell softly, echoing their first meeting. He offered to walk her home, sharing an umbrella. In the quiet, he told her the truth. about his company, the event, and his decision. Maya listened, thoughtful and calm. She saw Ethan, not the billionaire, and responded simply, "That must have been hard, but it sounds right." Her unaffected response confirmed everything he believed about her. She saw his heart, not his fame. Under the rain, Ethan understood. True beauty wasn't on a magazine cover. It was in the courage of a single mother, in kindness to a stranger. True beauty was sincerity, resilience, and the quiet light of a good soul. And that was the story he wanted the world to see.
What's something people don't know about stories? They never truly end. There's always a new adventure waiting for you. Just pick your next tale and I'll meet you there. Subscribe to the Story Circle and let me know which story I should tell next in the comments.